Lori Vallow. Daybell is seeking another trial following her April 22, 2025, conviction related to the execution of her fourth husband, Charles Vallow. She has outlined several reasons why she believes the ruling was unjust and should be overturned. Here are three key arguments she has presented. Juror misconduct. Daybell asserts that at least one juror was aware of her prior convictions in Idaho, despite the Arizona trial never officially introducing that information. She references a televised interview in which a juror expressed sympathy for her situation and admitted to knowing about her previous legal troubles. Since jurors are expected to remain neutral and uninformed about a defendant's past, she argues that this compromised the integrity of the case. Mishandling of evidence. Daybell claims that the prosecution violated discovery rules by withholding a hard drive containing forensic data from her cell phone until the trial was already underway. She argues that this delayed disclosure prevented her team from thoroughly analyzing the information and weakened her ability to build a strong defense. Alleged court bias. She also accuses the judge of favoring the prosecution, pointing out that two of her chosen witnesses were dismissed before the trial began. Daybell contends that this forced her to reveal her defense strategy prematurely, which she insists is not required under standard legal protocol. Additionally, she believes that certain statements made during her cross-examination damaged her credibility and tilted the trial against her. Clashes in the courtroom. Throughout the trial, Daybell, acting as her own legal representative, made several bold assertions. In her final plea to the jury, she insisted that the court was twisting a family tragedy into a crime. She argued that her brother, Alex Cox, was merely defending himself when he shot Charles Vallow, claiming Charles had been chasing her with a weapon inside their home. Prosecutors, however, painted a very different picture, contending that the incident was premeditated and fueled by financial incentives, particularly life insurance money. They also highlighted Daybell's religious convictions, including her assertion that Charles had been inhabited by a dark spirit leading up to his passing. The process of filing a legal appeal. Filing an appeal is a complex legal process that involves several steps. First, the defendant must submit a notice of appeal within a specific time frame, typically 30 days after the final judgment. The appellate court then reviews the case to determine whether legal errors occurred during the trial. Unlike a retrial, an appeal does not introduce new evidence or witnesses. Instead, it focuses on whether the lower court made procedural mistakes that significantly impacted the verdict. Common grounds for an appeal include legal misinterpretation, if the trial court misapplied the law; improper evidence handling, if evidence was unlawfully admitted or excluded; jurisdictional errors, if the court lacked the authority to rule on the case. If the appellate court finds that an error influenced the trial's outcome, it may reverse the decision or order a new trial. Juror misconduct and its impact on legal proceedings. Juror misconduct occurs when a juror violates court rules, potentially tainting the fairness of a trial. This can include discussing the case with outsiders, conducting independent research, harboring bias or prejudice. One high-profile case that revealed juror misconduct was United States versus Tsarnaev, the trial of the Boston Marathon bomber. In this case, the First Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that jurors were not adequately questioned about their exposure to media coverage, which may have biased their decision. The court found that some jurors had prior knowledge of Tsarnaev's confession, which was inadmissible in court, potentially influencing their verdict. Juror misconduct can lead to mistrials, overturned convictions, or retrials, as courts strive to ensure fair and impartial proceedings. Now that you know the impact of juror misconduct and what the process of filing a legal appeal entails, what's your take on Lori Vallow Daybell's appeal? Should the case be revisited, or has justice already prevailed? Subscribe, like, share, and add your thoughts in the comments.